Everybody, this is Sean Bradley again. I want to discuss websites really quick. This is very, very important for the newbies. Just pan them real quick. All right. You understand is that the average American, before they step into the dealership, they go online. Remember the percentage? Say it out loud. Louder.
92%.
We're shooting videos, so make it dramatic. 92%. All right. So here's something that's crazy. Out of the 92% of people that go online, there's a couple websites they go to more than anything else out there. The number one website, and I'd say number two, it's almost like Google and Facebook, which is more, depends what day of the week or the day of the month that you're checking. The two biggest websites is Edmunds.com and KelleyBlueBook.com. Now, give me this for a second. Okay. Now, we're going to go to Edmunds.com. That's EDMUNDS.com. And I want you guys, after you're done the training with me today, I want them to be on the computers, and I want them to do a little research. I want you guys to go to Edmunds.com. Now, out of you all, how many of you have ever been to Edmunds.com? Anybody? You have?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what Edmunds.com is to you. What do you
It showed me descriptions of the cars, reviews from other customers that have bought the car, and somewhat pricing sometimes. And it showed me dealerships around my area which had availability of that car.
Okay, question for you. Do you know if anything about the pricing? Edmunds.com has a special feature. Do you know what that is?
No, I'm not sure.
It's called TMV. Do you know that? Okay, what does that mean?
Just kidding.
No. You said it. You know what it is. Go ahead. See, now you
No, honestly, you said it and I was just...
Okay, so TMV is true market value. True market value is basically what the average person paid for in your area. So you have the invoice price, which is, everybody know what invoice price is here or no?
What the dealership will buy the car for.
Yeah, okay, a lot of you guys have never worked in the automotive industry. Let's say, for example, a vehicle is $20,000. The dealership, on average, a non-Highland, means not like a Porsche or a Ferrari or something like that, but like an average car, like you guys are Chevrolet, like you are an average car, right? A great car, but an average vehicle compared to a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or something like that. The average markup is about $2,000, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. So that means that on a $20,000 car that's got a sticker, the chances are the dealership owns it for $18,000. That's it. I mean, like, a lot of people think there's like tons of markup in a vehicle. There really isn't. So when you go to Edmunds.com, you could find out the sticker price of the car, which could be hypothetically $20,000, right? And then, which is the MSRP. The MSRP stands for Manufacturer's Suggested Retail Price. So MSRP stands for Manufactured Suggested Retail Price. Okay, so you can find out what the sticker price is of the vehicle, what the invoice is of the vehicle, and what TMV is. TMV is true market value. Now, if I'm shopping, a lot of people want to know what the price is, what the price is, what the price is. Well, they just don't want to get taken advantage of. They don't want to get cracked and, you know, and pay way too much. So a lot of people go to this website and they're going to look at, you know, new cars, used cars. They're going to look at, you know, what the pricing is on the vehicles. I don't want to go through this right now with you. This is part of what the day work or homework is going to be. I want you to go to Edmunds.com and pretend like you guys were going to buy a Chevrolet. Since this is a single-point Chevy dealership, don't worry about any of the cars. Don't care if you like them or not. Just go through, and I want to be different. Maybe you'll buy a Malibu. You could buy, you know, a Silverado, whatever it is. I want you to go through the different Chevys. There's enough for you guys. And I want you basically to pretend like you're really going to buy a car. Because tomorrow what we're going to talk about is, what did you learn from this experience? What did you learn from going on to Edmunds.com about a new car, right? Now, also, what I want you to do is, I want you to go to KelleyBlueBook.com. That's KBB.com or KelleyBlueBook.com. KelleyBlueBook.com is like the number one, or one of the very, very top resources for pre-owned or used cars. So what I want you to do is, I want you to be able to go there, and let's just say you have a trade-in. You could use your real car or an imaginary car that you have. Because remember, the average person doesn't just buy a car. A lot of people do what? They trade in their vehicle, right? So I want you to pretend like you want to buy a brand new Chevrolet. So you're going to go to Edmunds.com to do your research on, you know, the vehicle, right? I want you to also go to Kelley Blue Book and, you know, do some research on your pretend trade-in, okay? And then tomorrow, partly what we're going to do is we're going to go over what that was like, all right? Now, There's other things that are out there. There's websites. For example, there's Cars Direct. There's Auto Bytel, there's Auto USA, there's Auto Trader, there's Cars.com. I'm just using Cars Direct as an example. I want you to go there, and I want you to use their website as well and see what it looks like, because these are the ways that you're going to get leads. People go to websites like this. They go to Cars Direct, they go to Kelley Blue Book, they go to Edmunds.com to gather information in there, okay? The other thing that I want you to do, and this is the last thing, okay, is I want you to go to Google, okay, go to Google, and then just type in Chevy, let's just say Malibu, Chicago, or Silverado, or whatever it is. I want you to just type it in there and just see what pops up. Okay, and then I want to talk about that. So again, in the Army, for example, you know what I mean, in basic training, they make you go into a room where they actually release tear gas. Right? So again, as part of basic training, they want all the soldiers to kind of understand what it feels like, not just conceptually or, hey, your eyes water. No, like all the soldiers in basic training understand. If you are going to be working with people that are spending 11 hours online doing research about a vehicle, I just want you to spend a couple hours in training to start with, to just get a lay of the land on what people are going to do before they buy a vehicle. So again, I want you to start by picking a vehicle. Let's do that right now. What vehicle are you going to pick?
The Impala.
Okay, so you're going to look at the 2012 or 13? Do you have the 13s?
No, we don't have the G6.
So then there you go. So then it's 2012. So just making sure you're paying attention. So you're going to look at the 2012 Chevy Impalas. What are you going to look for?
I'm going to look for the 2012 Chevy Sonic.
Chevy
Sonic.
Okay. You're going to look at the Chevy what? Malibu. What are you going to look at? Silverado. What are you going to look at? Camaro. Oh, yeah. Okay. What are you going to look at?
2SS Camaro with RS package.
Whoa. Whoa, she's coming strong with it. Okay, what kind of Chevy are you going to look at?
An Equinox.
An Equinox.
Oh,
All right.
simple.
All right.
Shelly's a family girl.
Okay. Okay, so what you're going to do is, now that you guys have picked out what your vehicles are, the next thing that I want you to do, again, is to go through Edmunds.com and start your research. And again, this might take a couple hours, but I'm telling you, this is what I want you to do. And if I have to leave you guys at 4 o'clock instead of turning around and doing this, at 5 o'clock, I don't know if you guys have, how many people here have access to a computer tonight that can do this at home too? All right, in all fairness, I'm not going to make you do all this at home. Dora, we're going to have a really, really profound exercise. You could watch the video and I'll go over it a little bit later. But at 4 o'clock, we're going to stop and they're going to start doing some research. Okay? They all just picked what vehicles they're going to search from the Chevy lineup. The first place I want you to do is go through Edmunds.com. And that's where you're going to do the research on the new vehicle. The next one is you're going to go to Kelley Blue Book and you're going to look up your hypothetical trade. So make up what your trade is. Okay? And then I want you to go through Cars Direct. And again, this is just, I want everybody to use Cars Direct just for this exercise, but like I mentioned, there are other lead source providers out there, but instead of us going through 12 different ones, I want everybody experiencing the same thing. Does that make sense? And the purpose of this is I want you all to understand what people go through. We just went through all the statistics that literally 92% of Americans are going online. Now the final thing is to go through Google. All right, start to geo-target your search. I want you to, type in Chevy Malibu, Chevy Camaro, Chevy Equinox, Chevrolet, whatever it is, and see what comes up. I want you to tell me what comes up. Okay? Any questions, team, on what the homework assignment is? Okay. Does everybody understand why we're doing this?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go around the room real quick. What are you looking to get out of this exercise?
Just what the customer would experience before they get in contact with me.
Okay. Now, what about you? What are you looking? You can't say the same thing he said. So, what are you looking to get out of this exercise?
To get to know the system, to get to know what I don't want to say something like an experience out of it, so I know what they're talking to me about once they're doing it. So I know, I practically know what they're talking about, and I could tell them I went through the same experience.
Right. Okay. And you?
Put myself in the customer's shoes.
Perfect. Yes?
I don't know anything about cars, so get some experience in that.
Okay.
A little research.
Perfect. What would you say?
Just to kind of
understand like the information that is out there to kind of provide better like rebuttals or help them weed through the information that.
How about this? I'll give you an example on something. Do you know that if you use these websites and you know, like, knowledge is power. We've all heard that before.
Yes.
But let's say Kelley Blue Book. What people don't realize, and I'm going to give you a little bit of what I'm trying to get out of this exercise. There's multiple prices on Kelley Blue Book. If I'm trading in, God, you're making me tired. You know, if you're going to trade in, let's just say a 2008 Chevy Malibu LS, right? With, I don't know, 80,000 miles on it. There's a couple different prices that you could get from Kelley Blue Book. You could get what the retail price is, right? Meaning what somebody could buy a used car from at a dealership. It's a used car price. You could find out what the trade-in price is, what you would turn around and be able to expect a dealership to pay for your vehicle, right? You could also get what's called a private party price, where if I was going to sell the used vehicle myself, in the classifieds are on there. And then the certified price, meaning you might have a Chevy Malibu that could be certified pre-owned if it meets the right requirements. So there are 4 totally true and totally different prices. But if you don't know that, how are you going to intellectually have a righteous conversation with a prospect if you don't even know that there's different prices, and how do you even come up with the different prices and all that? Somebody might turn around and say, that they're looking for $10,000 on their used car, and you're like, well, where'd you get the number from? Yeah, and they say Kelley Blue Book, and you're thinking, well, these people are crazy. That's wrong. That vehicle's only worth $8,000. You can't just turn around and say to the customer, you are wrong, you're stupid, that number's wrong. No, seek first to understand and to be understood. Find out, okay, where'd you get that number from? I went to Kelley Blue Book. Great. Do you have access to Kelley Blue Book right now? Yeah, why? Well, let's go there together. Let's see how you came up with that number. And if you're educated in that website, you can walk them through it, and most people actually do it wrong. If you're trading in a vehicle and it's an older vehicle, they're going to mark it excellent, which it's not really excellent. It might be fair or good, especially if it's got 80,000 miles on it. They might turn around and, of course, they're going to want to have the most money retail value for it, but, that's not the reality. You can't turn around and want to buy a car from a dealership and get an invoice price, but get full retail on your trade-in. It doesn't even make sense, does it? Okay, but people don't know that. So if you had that knowledge and that experience in this website, guess what? You could articulate that. But if you don't have that knowledge and that experience on this website, you can't articulate that. And that's just Kelley Blue Book. Same thing goes for TMV and all that other stuff from Edmunds.com, the local Google searches, Cars Direct, Auto Buy, Tell, etc. The bottom line and the takeaway here, folks, is that I want you all to understand at a preliminary level what people are doing, what type of research. And you know what? I'm going to add one more piece to this, since we got what you should also do? Go to the manufacturer's website. That's what I want you to do. Go to, Chevy. Let's go. I'm going to Google. I'm typing in Chevy. What shows up really quick? How about Chevrolet.com? You guys should go to Chevrolet.com. So we're going to add that. So let's go through this again. You've got Chevrolet.com. You've got Cars Direct, you've got Kelley Blue Book, and you've got Edmunds.com. Those are the 4 websites that I want you to go through. The manufacturer's websites, the third-party provider websites, I gave you 3 of them, Edmunds, Cars Direct, and Kelley Blue Book, and you've got good old Google search. Does that sound good? Now, that should really give you a jump start of an experience level.